PK in the universe, and I am back again with another video. And today I wanted to discuss the concept of playing video games. If you review games on YouTube, or you talk about games on YouTube, or in general, just any kind of I make gaming content for YouTube, this video might interest you. So let's talk about, playing video games. Obviously, when you play video games, a lot of people play video games for the purpose of reviewing them on YouTube. Now, that doesn't mean it's the only reason. People can have multiple motivations for playing a game. For example, you're reviewing a racing game because you like racing games. And this is a game maybe you've played in the past and would like to review. So you're playing it to get game footage. You're playing it to get more details and make sure you totally understand a game. You're trying to learn this game inside and out so you can do it for the purpose of reviewing, but maybe you want to learn that for that purpose. But you know what I find interesting is how many of us who do reviews or just general conversations about video games in our videos, how oftentimes we don't really play these for the simple pleasure of playing them. Today I actually beat a game, and that game is Sherlock Holmes: The Awakened. It's a remake of a remaster. It came out in 2023. I don't want to go into too much detail about this game. I actually talked a little bit about it on a podcast I was actually on recently. And yeah, so I played it for the pure pleasure of playing it. I had no oh man, I'm going to do a review of this, or I'm going to talk about this for a YouTube video, and do a whole video on it. No interest in doing that. I just played it for the pure pleasure of that. And somebody asked me, it's like, hey, you're going to do a review of it, And it's the person who asked me is a fellow creator. My buddy, A Boy and His Dog Retro Edition, asked me about that, and it got me thinking about how many times do we do this? We see somebody who's playing a game, and the first thing we think is, are you going to review it? Especially if we know they make YouTube content, which is a totally valid question. That's a totally valid question. I'm not hating on my boy, A Boy and His Dog Retro Edition. Yeah, he asked me am I going to review it, and it's I responded with no, I actually just played this for the pleasure of playing it. And I think, we need to do that as YouTubers more, is just play games for the sake of playing it. Because I feel like by doing that, you're actually, one, you're continuing to develop your skills as a gamer, and two, you're doing something that's relaxing, that's good for your soul, just to play a game for the sake of playing it with no intention of, oh, I have to make something out of this. And people who make YouTube videos tend to be creative types, so that's so counterintuitive to why, because you make YouTube videos because you want to talk about games you're passionate about. But you know what, I also think it's okay. It's totally okay to just keep things to yourself, keep those experiences, just, breathe in that moment, live in that moment of that experience, and keep that to yourself. And that's kind of what I'm doing with this game. I do have opinions about it, and I could share opinions about it, but I don't want to. I want to make, because, I didn't do it for that reason, and doing that, just keeping it to myself actually makes the experience feel more special. Because I actually want people to go out and play the game and experience it for themselves. And you know what? At the end of the day, it's not really my job to sell people on whether to play a game or not. I liked it. I can tell you that much. I had fun with it. But I don't really need to go into detail about it. I don't feel a desire to go into detail about that. And you know what? That's totally okay. And we need to make that okay and normalize that. That you don't have to review every single game just because you played it. You know what? Every time there's a new piece of information out in the universe, as far as gaming history goes, or gaming stories, or gaming news, you don't have to give your take on it. You know what? We need to normalize that it's okay not to give every single opinion you have about everything and figure out a way to monetize it. Okay? Sometimes you just got to do things because it's good for your frickin' soul. Okay? And that's what this video is about. I want to tell people, hey, it's okay to do things that are just good for your soul and nothing more. And because you know what? And the good thing of doing that is you're kind of avoiding burnout, and you get some better perspective, when you're doing it. You're not thinking about, oh, I'm doing this for a review. I'm doing this because I want to talk about this game on YouTube. I'm not doing this because I want to monetize it. I'm doing it just to do it. Just doing things for the hell of it, I think is a good thing. And that's why I want to make this video, to kind of encourage people to do more of that. And it doesn't have to necessarily be, gaming stuff. It could be movies. Maybe you make movie-related content, and you've forgotten to, maybe watch movies just for the hell of it. Or it could be something else too. It could be something totally different. Maybe you're a painter and you paint for a living, or do some type of art. You make things. You're a creator. You like to create things. And yeah, this video is about, hey, just take a step back and do something just for the pure enjoyment of it and nothing more. And I know there's some people who are watching this who are like, well, I do that all the time. I do that all the time. And like, that's okay. You know, it's like, obviously, I don't want to say that you aren't the target of this audience or whatever, because you're, you know, here and listening to me, obviously. So whatever I said intrigued you enough to watch this video. But maybe, you know, you see this and you're like, you know what, maybe I do need to do even more of that. You know, that's okay too. So yeah, I just want to make this video to say to people, hey, it's okay to just play games for the sake of playing games. You don't have to create all the time. You don't have to monetize your experiences all the time. You don't even have to share them on Twitter. You know, and I'll admit I shared my experience on Twitter, which is why people knew I was playing the game to begin with. Maybe I shouldn't have. I shouldn't have said anything. But maybe it's okay. Maybe it's okay I did, because maybe it inspired other people to go play the game, which would be a huge W as far as I'm concerned, because the game is fun, as I said. And that's all I'm going to say about it. It's fun, and I had fun with it. So anyways, what are your guys' thoughts? Do you play games just for the sake of playing it? And if you're not a content creator, yeah, obviously I know you're playing games for the sake of playing it. It's just pure entertainment. I know, I'm not a moron. Yeah, I get that you do play for the simple, but I'm really trying to focus this video on people who make stuff. But maybe you have something else. Maybe you, again, you make some other kind of thing that's artistic and creative. And so if that's what you do, perhaps tell me if you do it just for the sake of doing it. You know, something like that. I think that works. Yeah, let's go with that. Comment below. Love to hear what you have to say. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and stay awesome in this universe. Thanks. Bye.